Good afternoon. It's my daily post-gym check-in. Didn't go to the gym today, like I mentioned in my earlier video. I feel like shit. I'm just, my throat is sore, my chest is congested, and my sinuses are just out of control. Tired, and I'm just, I laid down there for, I don't know, about an hour ago, trying to get some sleep and a nap. And someone come bang on my door, and I ignored it. And then they rang the doorbell, and I ignored that. Then they rang the doorbell again. So finally I got up and answered the door. And it was some kid from Rogers or something trying to sell internet services. And I was like, sorry, dude, I already got Bell. Anyway, I contained myself. I didn't get frustrated or angry with him. That was a win. But yeah, unfortunately, one of the things I just stumbled across was I was fired in June of this year, 5th of June, actually. And immediately the next day, I was buffering up my resume and, redoing it. I haven't had a resume redo in probably 5 years. So getting all that stuff together. And I joined all those job listing sites like Jobify and LinkedIn and Job Recruiter, ZipRecruiter. I don't know. I use about half a dozen of those apps in the Canadian Job Bank. And, 2 or 3 applications every day was sort of my metric, my target. And, I've sent out over 100 applications in the 5 months or whatever that have passed. And the sad truth is that I'm competing in a global market because I'm only doing remote work. I'm not interested in ever returning to an office. Part of the reason I think I got fired was my erratic behavior, and my thumping of desks and, swearing and profanity. A lot of people that I sat beside in cubicles complained about me. And I told my boss that. I was like, dude, I got like explosive ADHD or maybe diarrhea. I don't know. And there was a couple times he said I could make a reasonable excuse. And I tried telling him I had trauma because I got whacked with a machete and I was afraid to ride the bus, which was a total lie. I mean, I give shit about that. But I was like, anything and anything did not go into the office because that's not going to end well for me. I started going in anyway because my dad was like, well, show commitment and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, Dad, oh, well, look what happened. But anyway, I'm competing only in the global market with remote opportunities, but they're high-paying jobs. And I knew it would be tough going in because, like, within 30 seconds of these jobs being posted, there's a dozen applicants. And an hour later, there's hundreds. So if you're not in there within the first, 30 seconds of them posting it, you probably fall to the bottom of the pile. And that's possibly what is causing these results. But at the end of the day, I've sent out over 100 applications and I've had 3 respond. All 3 of them, I made it through the entire interview process, 1, 2, 3 usually. And the 2 of them called me back and declined, told me that they moved forward with another candidate. And the one that actually accepted, I declined because they were offering $40,000 a year less than what I was making. And it was 45 hours a week and with the expectation of overtime and on-call. And I was like, man, no, like, I don't need this work right now. I'm going to be picky. I'm not going to lock myself into that. And so, yeah, it was unfortunate. But bit of a wake-up call, I guess. The job market's not easy. It's tough. But it also kind of reminded me that, like, look, Alex, I go through life like a square peg in a round hole, right? There's always friction in everything I do. I don't fit any box. Everything about me is unorthodox, man, right? I mean, I dropped out in grade 10 and I've worked with software engineers that have master's degrees and bachelors, and some of them had PhDs. And I'm like, I'm trying to fit in there. Like, don't let anybody know that you're a fuck up, especially one that's an addict or was an addict Anyway, that imposter syndrome, holy smokes, right? I'm like a psychological use or a case study that... Anyway, I really struggled with that, and it caused a lot of anxiety about going into the office because that's where people tend to chat and ask questions and fucking stories fly around them. Anyway. Yeah, so I'm in my heart, I know I have to do something of my own, man. I'm tired of working for someone else, right? I just don't have it in me. So I'm okay with rejection of the jobs. It just does kind of suck it and a little bit invalidating. Ties into my shadow work with seeking external validation. But I'm like, well, you can feel as confident as you want. If you don't have a fucking job, you're not going to keep the roof over your head. But I'll figure something out. I got a bit of a financial runway, thank God. But anyway, yeah, the other thing is I've mentioned this a couple times, but when I first got fired, I was just kind of bummed out and sad, and I was using the Liven app, and it was, helpful, but I was still like, man, I need to express something, right? And I wrote a children's book based on this Canadian fella icon that his story is incredible, and it's inspired me since I was a child, and I just really respected the hell out of that fella, man. I've used him many times in my life when I needed a picker-upper, like, man, come on, he would do it. And so I wrote a child's book about him, and I was happy with it, man. I thought it was super cool, and I showed it to a couple friends of mine that had kids, and they were all like, A, it's really good, and B, where did this come from? And C, I can't believe you wrote a children's book. And I'm like, I know, I don't have children. Blah, blah, blah. All of it makes sense, but inside of my heart, man, I'm a big child, I guess, and my inner child is still strong. So anyway, I put a lot of heart into this, and I'd reached out to the fellow that controls the trademark, and I emailed him 2 or 3 times and haven't heard anything back. So I phoned him this morning, and that took a lot out of me, man. Holy moly! Like, I don't do cold calls, and I know I'm gonna have to get used to it. Spinning up my own business, the one thing that's always held me back was sales and marketing promotion. I've never been comfortable promoting myself, man. It just makes me shake on my boots and poop my pants a little bit. Anyway, so I built up the courage to call him, and I got his answering machine. So I left a message, and I hope he calls me back. And then the third thing is, I'm trying to spin up this side business, like web design, not web design. I want to do if you're not tech savvy, it's not make sense, but I want to do ERP integrations and digital transformation solutions for small, medium businesses. And the place I previously worked at, that's what I did there, man. It was such an open book there. I walked in there as a software developer. By the time I left, I was their solutions architect, right? I was doing AI integrations before AI was AI. I was doing automated integrations so that systems could intercommunicate, and it would save them time from having to do manual, like invoices from the ERP into Dynamics or whatever, right? And those are the kind of things that fill my heart, man. I love that. There's a balance of like helping and technically solving. So it was just right down my sweet spot. So, but anyway, I reached out to my old boss and through an email, because I don't like phone calls. And I asked him if I could maybe get him to give me a testimonial on my website. And I don't even know if it would do anything, but internally it would give me a boost of confidence. And I haven't heard from him either, man. So I'm like, geez, this is the universe's way of like showing me that I'm living from a place of lack, not abundance. And when you're kind of needy and desperate like this, like no one wants to go near you. And that's the scary part. I'm like, well, how the fuck am I supposed to get moving forward, man? Everybody's ignoring me and I'm not good enough. Yeah, and then I was on Hinge and Tinder, and I connected with a couple of women, went on a walk with one, and I mean, she was nice, but the energy was off, and she seemed a little needy. Like, I'm like, oh, you're sending me vibes like I'm better than you. It's flattering, but I don't want that, man. I want someone better than me. That's the way relationships, sexual marketplace value works. But anyway, that's not going to happen in my current state of mind. So anyway, all these other women have been kind of ghosting me or rejecting me, and I'm just in a low spot in life right now, man. I'm like, fucking wake the shit up, Alex. Holy smokes, right? Something's got to start clicking for me here. But anyway, sorry guys. This is almost 10 minutes, man. This is a real heart dump on you, and I don't expect anyone to listen to it all, but anybody that does, man, I appreciate you. And yeah, if you could send me some positive vibes, brother or sister or whatever you are. Maybe you're a child or maybe you're both. I don't know. I've always been open to connecting with anybody, man. I don't care if you're fucking purple or part raccoon. Fucking, you're a nice person, man. I'll befriend you. But anyway, now we're at 9.5 minutes, so I think I'll finish this with just saying, I'm going to start practicing harder and stronger daily affirmations about attracting abundance, man, because right now I'm attracting scarcity, and it's making me feel scared, and I'm sick. Like, Jesus, today is not my day. Blah. Anyway, love you all. Peace out. Bye.